Jewel used to tell me, which I would wind up naming my daughter after her, but she used to tell me, this is being kind day. So don't come out here, Blake, and be spewing a whole bunch of craziness. Don't be petty. But karma can be a very big deal, just as the University of Alabama and their AD, Greg Bryant, because I think things do come full circle here, right? Like, as an example, the AD of Alabama, Greg Bryant, came out today and basically said, oh, no, other teams are tampering with our players. Y'all need to stop right now. While he probably drinks a sip of his sweet tea like most good Alabamians do. What's been going on at the University of Alabama is that Ole Miss tried to pluck one of their guys that was already on their roster. You know it, and I know it, and I think that we can put context clues together about what Ole Miss tried to do to Alabama to get one of their top players to come to Oxford. But it's so interesting to me because I remember 2021, but I really, really, really remember 2022. You know, that's when Kayshon Boutte went to the media and was like, basically had said that, were you thinking about going to University of Alabama? He goes, oh, yeah, more than thinking about it. I was about to do it. If Gordon McKernan didn't come in and I was going to Alabama, why would he already know that he was going to Alabama if he wasn't talking to members on that coaching staff? And if he would have entered the portal, he could have gone to Bama. What? How did he know that? Oh, tampering. You know, the same thing happened. They did accomplish it on one of them, Eli Ricks. So when Brian Kelly's coming in and he's fighting for players that are on his roster, he keeps Kayshawn, he keeps Garrett Nussmeier, thank goodness, because who knows what you would have been at quarterback this year, but you did get Jaden Daniels, so I guess that is a big plus. But it's so funny to me that Saban retires. And then when Saban retires because of the new way, the new land, the new construct of college football that, look, man, I can't have the control like I used to have the control. I don't have it anymore. And bye, see ya. I'm going to take the $20 million from ESPN, and I'm retired. I'm going to sell Mercedes during the week. I am going to talk college football on the weekend. And Miss Terry's glad because I'm out of the house. They fly me a private jet, take me to and fro. Pot, meat, kettle. Because that's what the University of Alabama is right now when you want to talk about tampering. No, technically what you're going through in a 9-3 season is exactly what happens to every other team on the face of the planet that doesn't have Saban. Welcome to it. Now, I will warn you of something because there are people out there that will completely trash Bama. I'm with you. Trash them. Go right on ahead. Trash them. I don't like them just as much as you don't like them. Believe you me. But there's one thing that I'm not going to do. I'm going to take care, or one thing I am going to do. I'm going to take care of what I can take care of. I'm going to do what I need to do to get ready to beat them in Tuscaloosa next year. Screw what's going on with them at the current moment. We need to find a way to make sure that we are ready to go. They will be there when the time is ready and the time is right. You can keep eyes on them, but keep your enemies close is a saying. Or keep your friends close, but your enemies closer is a saying. The pure audacity that Greg Bryant had to run out there today and say what he said about tampering when your literal head coach, I got this from our guys Pooh Bear and them at the Golden Boot Pod. He shared it to me. Nick Saban in April of this year talked about tampering with other teams' rosters. He was talking about Toledo and the Toledo cornerback and Quinyon Mitchell. Nick Saban said he was our top portal guy. We just never got stops and says he just never went in the portal. What was Nick about to say? Do you really think that you weren't tampering? Because he who hath no sin cast the first stone, and let's just be honest, why don't you go into Kalen DeBoer's office and ask him what he's been doing? He's losing some players. What do you think he's been doing? Probably be the same exact thing. Now, you're talking about the 7 figures that a DB is getting, one of the players that's on your roster. It's the game that you play. Stop whining about it and do something about it. Now, I don't want that. I don't really want him to do something about it because that means that they're going to be competitive. It's still Alabama at the end of the day. But, man, I tell you, the karma and the hypocrisy that lies at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa is not missed upon me. Here's another thing, and the thing that pisses me off more than anything, is that the SEC makes statements about it, meaning the SEC comes out with a statement saying, stop tampering with rosters or else. Well, why weren't you doing that when Saban's coaching staff was doing that to Kayshon Boutte? So Greg Bryan, the Alabama AD, just runs out there and says, y'all need to stop tampering. The SEC puts out a statement about it and says, yeah, y'all need to start tampering or else. But when it happened to LSU a while back in Kayshon Boutte, you didn't say shit. So to all of the other fan base, or to all the other people out there that don't think that Alabama bias isn't a thing, to all the people out there that think that when teams think that they're not getting calls that they normally would against other teams, and they ask why, it's because literally other teams inside the SEC have gone through Alabama under Saban tampering with their roster. And then when that happens, nothing comes out from the SEC. Why is that? Why is it that the SEC makes a statement when Bama gets hit? We're one of the most penalized teams in the country. Oh, no, we don't have bias. You had the commissioner come out here with a statement and say, stop tampering. That's what pisses me off more than anything. Winners get beneficial treatment. Now, Kirby Smart doesn't feel that way. He thinks his schedule is a little too hard and that Greg Sankey and company screwed him this year. And yet he still might win a national title. Who knows? The hypocrisy is massive here. The hypocrisy is massive. And the karma is even sweeter. So if you're going through some shit at work, if you're going through some shit with family, just maybe some of you need to hear this. It might be a while until karma strikes back, but karma going to be around for a while. And when you least expect it, pow, here she comes. Yeah, no pause on here she comes. Oh, the irony. Do me a favor, hit the like and share to all those groups on Facebook, and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Where are you listening to from tonight? Where are you listening to from tonight? The 225, the 504, the 337, the 318, 31 great. Where are you listening to from tonight? Nola P says, let's hope we get another big commitment during the show again tonight. Well, I hope that that doesn't happen. I do like when it happens, then I don't like when it happens because it brings in a lot of traffic when somebody commits. So I do hope it happens. I don't hope it happens. You get my gist here. So, yeah, anytime we can get a commit, though, I would very much like it. One Smoke on YouTube says, we getting the RB out of the portal, or are we trusting Caleb to take a jump next year? Well, Caleb was in both of the videos that LSU published today, which is something that we're going to talk about. They showed us their offensive line, which, okay, great. And just finding out about Weston Davis and what happens there. Miles Frazier being a right tackle for the bowl game is going to be interesting, but I think that they're doing something here to help out Miles Frazier, and good on them for doing it. So we'll see. Robert Mason, or Mason, however you say it, sorry, says, does Toviano and Jawan Johnson stay? If so, do they play star? Robert, here's what I'd say. Probably. And listen, this bowl game's a big one. I don't care what anybody tells me. The bowl game's big because you get to see what you got right now. and where you need to plug some of those holes. So, yeah, I do agree. Speaking of Pooh Bear, there they are. Big Boot Gang on YouTube says the 256 is in the building. So does Billy, who's in here. Says Billy the Kid, or that kid, 662. Good to have you in here. Devin Johnson from the 985. Aim Meat, Louisiana. Actually, technically, here you go, Devin. Your boy is from Aim Meat, technically. Master Chef Devin is the best breakfast place in the whole state of Louisiana. It's not debatable. And I'm with you there. Moved to Franklinton. Yeah. But Aim Meat. Yes, indeed. Lived in Tyson Park. How about that, Devin? Of course I did. But yeah, Lucky Eastside says Chicago. That's funny. You know why it's funny? Because Eastside Chicago. Stephen Fryer, good friends over at Fry Construction. He says 337 in the hizzy. Yeah, good friends over in Eunice, man. Dirt work, landing hole, gas, everything. They do it all. Give them a call today, man. Go find them on Facebook. Go find them on Instagram, wherever they are. You need any of those services. You know, we talk about them on here all the time. But he says 337 is in the hizzy. Good to have you in here with us as well. All right, let's get moving. We've got a lot to discuss. Everybody do us that favor. Hit the like and share. We got to get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a lot of LSU football here. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. Let's get to it here. So I want to start off the show on the main part of the show here with starting off on something that LSU posted and we got to look at. So I thought that we'd be able to go out to practices. Apparently, I am wrong on that. They're not letting us out there clearly. Maybe they'll let us in 1 and 2. Who knows? I do think they're locking it down because they don't like people going there and see maybe who's on campus. That's cool. Doesn't bother me either way, really. But what is interesting, LSU posted a video today of Garrett Nussmeier throwing touchdown passes to Aaron Anderson and Xavion Thomas. I love everything about that. In 11 on 11. What I love about that is a couple of things. Felt like Garrett threw the ball downfield because he felt confident in what he was doing, but it also told us a couple of big things, at least going into the bowl game. So LSU is fighting two battles right now in some instances. The one battle that they're fighting is that we got to talk about the team going into next year, but we still technically have a game that is coming up here, which we're actually going to be able to get to tonight unless, again, yes, some breaking news comes way. And we got to get to it there. But I look at it, and this is the offensive line for LSU. Tyree Adams at left. And by the way, we have talked about this ad nauseum, right? Ad nauseum in the sense of we had pretty much predicted. I did not predict one thing that they would do, but they did it. But here's your offensive line. Adams, Mabinga, Chester, Borderline, Frazier. I think a couple of things are happening with this offensive line mix that we're going to see for the bowl game, if that is what we see. Number one, you're getting Bo Borderline a chance to see if he's ready. Meaning, you probably feel that Weston Davis may be ready, and you have more time to develop. And I still think Weston Davis is going to play here. I think Weston Davis is going to play a lot here. So we're going to see the talented 5-star right tackle. I also think that they're doing two things. Look, man, you're going into it. You're being an upperclassman. Can you go in here and start? We have a need. You're the next guy up. Let's see what you can do in the bowl game. Let's see what you can do during bowl practice. I don't mind that, right? Like, I don't mind that at all. This is a game where you experiment because I really, quite frankly, don't care if you win or lose this game. Now, I always want to win, but more than winning an exhibition game here is I want to see different things. I want to have a feeling to know about where this team goes into 2025. This doesn't really necessarily matter, even though it's massive in the sense of that you can find out a lot of intricate details about your team. They're giving Borderline a shot here. If he's going to be the right guard, if he's going to play at right guard, if he's going to stay at right guard, they're giving him a chance here. They've been moving him in at tight end for some specific packages. Let's see if he can come in here and start at right guard. But another thing that they're doing in moving Miles Frazier to right tackle is you're helping out Miles Frazier for a draft status. He can put some film on at right tackle. He can put some film on that he can be versatile for the league. I don't mind that. A guy that's been here now for 3 years and's giving you a lot, man. We don't talk about Miles Frazier a lot. We really don't because he plays guard. He's in and out of the lineup some. But I could show you film of Miles Frazier having moments of dominance this year. And I think he's going to get drafted, and I don't know specifically where, but he's going to get drafted. He's been good enough and put enough on film to be drafted. At minimum, he's going to get a shot somewhere in the league. Somebody's going to add him in a camp. Moving into right tackle just shows draft versatility. So you're doing two things along your offensive line. Now, would you want to see Weston Davis? I'm with you. You want to see him start? Really what you have. I'm with you there. I sympathize with that. I still think Weston Davis is going to be in this rotation, and we're going to get looks at him. Maybe not a lot, but maybe some looks at him. The first question that I had in my head was, is he hurt? But I had asked around, and they said, no, man, he's going to be a guy. He may play here, and, we're going to try to definitely get him in the rotation. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. You can move Miles Frazier back to right guard. He just get some film out there. Cool. I'm cool with what they're doing. The thing, though, is that you really are replacing the entire right side of your offensive line. And I need to see – I really, really, really need to see what Weston Davis can get us because I didn't get to see enough of him during camp because he just wasn't ready. I mean, he was a late-term enrollee. He wasn't ready to go here. I hope he gets in that rotation, and I hope that he plays because then you can start getting an idea. At right guard, man, what if you do get a surprise with Bo Borderline? What if you get a surprise here? What if he's able to be at right guard and do some good things? What if the run game gets better with him at guard? Now, unfortunately, Baylor is a team, and we have not been able to talk about this a lot, but Baylor, Baylor is a team that will give up a lot of yards in between the 20s. Sound familiar, Dave Aranda defense? Does any of that sound familiar? And then when they get in the red zone, they really turn up the heat. I think you might be able to run the ball on them. And can Borderline give you enough, and can he show enough in one game that going into spring, going into fall, well, really in spring, when you go into spring, do you give him the first team reps and say, hey, man, you had a good bowl game. Can you put some days together during spring? Then when you get in August, can you get some days together? We'll throw you out there. LSU's going to give him a shot, and that's all that you can ask. It's up to him to be able to lock that down. So I thought that was interesting. I'm really interested to see what happens from the center to the left side of the offensive line with Adams, Mabinga, and Chester. Guys, it's been a long time. It's been 30-plus games. 30-plus games that we have gone without seeing Will Campbell or not having Will Campbell at left tackle. Literally the entire Brian Kelly era has been here with Will Campbell not being at left tackle. He's always been there every game. As the 5th player in LSU history to be to the all 4 major publications an All-American. 5 other players have only done that. The last couple, you may remember, this guy and Jaden. Pretty high company, is it not? So I look at this and just say, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then how do they protect Garrett Nussmeier in pass pro? How do they run the football? Guys, it's a brand new day on the offensive line, man. Brad Davis is going to make his money this year. This is his money year. Like, hey, man, you replaced a lot. You did a lot. You dominated a lot. Sounds good. Sounds good. But the 2 in-state freaks that you had at both tackles are not there anymore. The All-Americans aren't there anymore. I hadn't been this intrigued about offensive line play for LSU in quite a moment because it is a lot to replace here, and you've just had bigger needs because you had those 2 guys. So Adams, Mabinga, Chester, Borderline, and Frazier. And you'll probably see Weston Davis. And can you go in there and run the football? I do have a concern. My concern is, can you keep Garrett Nussmeier upright? Can you keep him upright? Because if you can keep him upright, then the sky's the limit for you as a team. If you can't, and he's got to run around, it's a recipe for disaster. Garrett is not good right now, at least from what he's shown during the season, of extending outside the pocket. His throws are all of his good throws come from inside the pocket. Once he's outside those hash marks, bad things happen. So can you keep him pretty flush inside that pocket? It's going to be a very, very big deal unless he starts moving and get it a little bit better there. All right, let's get to this. The other thing, I said this today. We were with our friends over at Silver Hawk Digital Media, and I want to reemphasize it before we start getting to the portal. Guys, I really do believe that this wide receiver room has the capability to be elite or one of the more dangerous. I shouldn't say elite. I think they have the capability of being one of the more dangerous teams in the SEC at that position. Now, Nick Anderson is somebody that you got last night, and because I was so excited about it, I freaked out too much. What else is new? But you got Nick Anderson, you have Barian Brown, you have Chris Hilton, you have Aaron Anderson, you're seeing Xavion Thomas today catch a fade route for a touchdown. And you start asking the question of, okay, well, how good can you be? How good can that room be? The truth is that you needed help there, and you got 2 guys that can instantly give you help there and be dudes and be a guy. So Barry and Brown is interesting because now defense is going into the season. Going into the season, defenses are going to have to really show you who they are early. Because if you got Aaron Anderson, Barry and Brown, Chris Hilton, Nick Anderson, in any form of combination that you want, where does the safety shade? Do you have to go too high safety? Do you have to, because there's so much speed on the field and you don't want LSU to get behind you and throw a vertical route and hit explosive plays, now you're going to have to back those safeties out that can help you in the running game, which has been a struggle for you. Very smart strategically by Brian Kelly in doing that. Doesn't get the credit for that. So you have Nick Anderson. You have Barian Brown. Anderson coming off an injury. The first-round potential is there. Can he seize it? Barian Brown's got 122 catches in the SEC. Guys, you ain't going to get more production than that. And I say this about him all the time. What does he do now that he has a quarterback in a system and a place that wants to throw the football and can get him the football? That is a big deal. It is a big deal. Production works. You know, I think of at receiver of guys coming in without production. I think of Jonathan Giles. They had some production, but not really. He didn't have 122 catches in the SEC. So kudos to Cortez, kudos to Joe Sloan, kudos to the entire recruiting staff and Brian Kelly. I think you're one of the more dangerous based off of your talent. Nuss wants to go deep. Let's throw it deep. Let's be explosive. Let's go frick these guys up, man. You have the room that has the talent to do it. Can they stay healthy? Some of them. So big, high risk, high reward. And if you don't have these issues and you can be, Chris Hilton doesn't get hurt in the end of the year or beginning of the year. And he looks like he does at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. How much different are you? And that's a question you're going to continue to ask about Chris Hilton. You're going to continue to have those thoughts and questions. I will too. But, man, you're a dangerous bunch, man. A very dangerous bunch. It's going to be interesting to see. Okay. Let's move to the portal here. So we've talked about this, but there are a couple of additions here that I want to get to before we get to a break. There are a couple of guys that LSU have been mentioned on and bringing in on visits and in being in contention with from some things that I've heard. Patrick Payton, the edge rusher out of Florida State, is very interesting to me. The reason it's very interesting to me, and just some things that I hear, is really due to the fact of this kid going in the portal. A lot of people think that he can be a real dude. He has that talent. He was on a bad team, and sometimes he just did not give a shit. The last time that I saw a kid at edge that was that talented, that was at a bad situation, a bad spot in the state of Florida, was Princely Umanyalan. And quite frankly, Princely Umanyalan was one of the best, if not the best, one of the best. He was top 3 for sure, edge rushers in the entire SEC. Outside of the freak of natures that you had at South Carolina, he was up there. It's why there was a big reason. He was a big reason as to why Ole Miss led the country in sacks last year, because of the freak of natures that they had on their defensive line, him being one of it. I think LSU is going to throw their hat in the table, or throw their hat on the table and get in this contest. Here's the thing about this one I just want to caution everybody. The reason that I want to caution everybody is very simple. Edge rush guys with this much high potential, this much of athleticism, go for top dollar. Now, you have been doing more in the portal, right? Like, you've been doing a lot in the portal. And a lot in the portal in the sense of that you legitimately have been doing better, and quite honestly and quite frankly, you've been doing probably the best that you've ever done from guys that you're bringing in from the portal for football. I look at this and say to myself, Patrick Payton could be a elite human being. He's got that capability. Can you get the best out of him is going to be a big question mark. Because Patrick Payton, Florida State sucked this year. Patrick Payton does not suck. If you can get the best out of him, which Kevin Peoples tends to find ways, Braden Swinson, to get maybe some guys who have been difficult in the past to be able to give it their full potential. But I think you're going to throw your hat on the table and see what happens. And if you really have been going over to BayouTraditionsCollective.com, that's BayouTraditionsCollective.com. Like I told you last night, just on the WinBar thing, we're going to push it back a whole week. So we'll go through the whole week, and Christmas, whatever, we'll do some stuff, and then we'll do the raffle after. But we're going to get you that WinBar. We're going to get it customized too, signed, customized. So. That's partnered with our good friends over at Bayou Traditions. I forgot to say that earlier. Have you raised and gotten enough money to get a guy like that? I think is a big question mark. Everybody will be after him. Everybody will be after him. And here's another thing that I want to emphasize now that we're talking about Peyton and top dollar athletes and top dollar dudes. There are more than likely going to be players that once this weekend is over, that these players in the playoff, especially maybe some on some losing teams, that are going to hit the portal. It's going to be interesting to see where LSU goes here. I think there are going to be guys that hit the portal that the scuttlebutt is, I don't know if I believe it yet. The scuttlebutt or the tea leaves is that you might have some guys that you really want to go after, but their teams are in the portal. Are in the playoff. If that is the case, I don't know if it is. I just know that it's what everybody's talking about. If it is, and LSU feels that they can go after some of those players, well, we'll see. But top dollar guys are about to start hitting here. Patrick Payton is probably one of the higher top dollar ones because of what he can produce. We'll see, man. What do teams around the country think of him? Because of how his season ended at Florida State, it's going to be really interesting to see if a team takes that bigger risk. I do think that, and I could be wrong here, but I do think that there will be a team that takes that kind of risk. But him going in the portal is very interesting to me. Something that else is interesting, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this name. I've tried to find a way to say this name correctly. But the Washington State offensive lineman, Falili Fiamo, I'm sorry for butchering his name. From this point on, he's going to just be known as, until otherwise, it's going to be the Washington State offensive lineman. I'm trying to figure out this kid's name. That's on me. He's taking a visit. A lot of people that I respect in the industry, Cooper Batanga of 247 is one of them, thinks that he's one of the high offensive linemen in the portal right now, and that he's nasty. The question is that he's going to Nebraska and LSU per the reports. I'm interested to see with an offensive line that needs help at Oklahoma if he doesn't follow John Mateer to Oklahoma along with his OC. That's what I'm really interested to see. Can LSU bring him in, lock him down, and say, hey, man, you ain't going to Oklahoma. We need you here. That's something that will be interesting. But John Mateer, one of the best quarterbacks in college football last year, if you didn't watch Washington State a lot, which I'm sure some of you didn't, John Mateer is a dude. His OC at Washington State is now at Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a bad offensive line right now. So they have more needs and more worries. And quite frankly, for that position, probably more money than you do right now. You'll just run it back. You'll run it with Weston Davis. You'll run it in there with Weston Davis. So if LSU can bring him in, lock him down, then it does tell you a couple of things. It does tell you that maybe they're not sure that Weston Davis can play right tackle. Maybe they don't think that he's ready. You don't go after an offensive tackle if you don't think somebody's not ready. If a guy's ready, you're not going after him. Now, he's one of the top ones. We'll see. I just don't know here. I just don't know. What I do know is if you big offensive lineman to help out Garrett for guys that can help get downfield and you got that much speed, why not? You got the money, go spend it. At least you're saying you got the money. We'll see. All right. Let me get to a quick break. We're going to come right back. We got a lot to talk about with this Baylor team and this Baylor bowl game. And then when we'll come back, we'll talk about some other ones. I might get to some of your questions here in just a moment too. So let's get to this because we haven't talked about the bowl game at all. We'll do that. Let me get to a quick break. We're back next. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with a great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
I want to throw this out there because I saw some comments from earlier in the show. I want to bring this up. I did say something last night. I did say something today that's got people in, I guess, a little bit of a scuttlebutt, and I didn't intend it to do that. It's not what I was trying to report or anything like that because I wasn't trying to report anything. Mansour Delane, because he can still technically go into the draft. So he from what I understand, he signed here, whatever, or is intending to come here. We'll have to wait and see. He can go in the draft. It'd be a massive get if they get him. Like if they can hold on and he doesn't go in the draft, could he do it? Who knows? I don't know. Hopefully there's a confirmation tweet that comes out. He still can go in the draft. That's what I'm wondering. You know, I told you this last night. Joe, my co-host on our national show, said that who does a lot of draft coverage, that he thought that he'd be a top 50 to maybe at outright worst, a third-round guy at 75. That just goes to tell you, man, that, like, I mean, if you're a top 50 pick, do you go? I don't think people realize how big of an addition this kid can be. Really, I don't. I mean, if you're telling me that you're bringing in a top 50 kid from the NFL, like, and he's not going there and he could come in here and be a first rounder, okay, yeah. I did not mean for that to happen because I was just spitballing on something that I didn't really know on. I should have clarified. That's on me. That's on me. But he can't go in the draft. I hope that they hold on to him. Really, I do. All right, let's get to Baylor really quickly, and you can ask your questions. So we're not going to we'll spend some time on this, just not a whole hell of a lot. Thoughts, questions, concerns, players in the portal, things in the portal. What do you think? We'll do an Ask Blake here too. So LSU and Baylor take on each other on New Year's Eve, and with Christmas being next week, and I don't know about you, but we'll talk to one another on Monday, just not at the normal time. We have Christmas on Monday. New Year's on or Christmas Eve on Tuesday, and then Wednesday is Christmas. So we are not going to have a lot of time together here soon. But what is true for sure is that we need to talk about Baylor before we don't have the chance. There are some things of interest here for me for LSU going into this game. We talked about the offensive line earlier. Can you run the football? It is going to be a big thing. You have a new offensive line pretty much outside of DJ Chester and Miles Frazier. Paul Mbinga did start some. Well, now he's going to be starting to be a full-time starter. How can you run the ball? When I look at Baylor and their defensive line, they've been inconsistent at best. They've given up a lot of yards inside the 20, and they haven't been able to rush the passer very well. They're tied for 68 in the country in team sacks, so they're not getting to the quarterback often. They're getting to him some, but about 1.9 times per game. So 2 times per game, they are getting to the quarterback. Yeah, well, Garrett throws the ball 40-plus times. At least he has been throwing the ball that much, at least not just late. Their D-line has been highly inconsistent. How do you run the ball in those avenues? Because I feel like if you can go into this game running the football, guys, you're going to win. It just opens up everything else for Garrett. The thing is, though, with Baylor, that's very interesting to me is that even though they've given up a lot of yards in between the 20s, a lot of yards, they've been really locked down in moments in the red zone this year. Sound like a Dave Aranda special to you? Because that's a Dave Aranda special if I've ever heard one. Give up yards in between the 20s. They start getting down the red zone. Yeah, we're not going to be giving up that many touchdowns. We're going to make you and hold you to field goals. They're 37th in the country in red zone. The only reason is that is a lot of teams made field goals on them. Because of the 33 times that Baylor has been in the red zone, they've allowed 12 touchdowns, meaning almost 2/3 of every time a team gets in the red zone, they're holding them to a field goal. It's a lot. It's more than a lot. It's a whole hell of a lot. If you can run the football and get points early, I don't know if they're going to be able to stop you long term. Dave is rebuilding a defense that got decimated from the portal a couple years ago. They've been better this year, clearly. They still got a ways to go. I still think that you can out-athlete them, what you have on offense versus what they have on defense. There's another concern that I have, and probably a bigger concern, is Baylor's quarterback in Sawyer Robertson. Dude's athletic, man. Dude can pick him up and put him down. Sawyer Robertson has 59 rushing attempts this year for 227 yards and 4 touchdowns. The thing with Sawyer Robertson is that he will move. Now, he's not the fleetest of foot, but he's athletic, and he's tough, and he's willing. It's not like Garrett. The style of play is not like Garrett. The guy will move, and he will be productive for you. Didn't take a lot of sacks, ran a lot, picked up yardage, got down. Was a big reason of their spark and why they went toe-to-toe with a team like Colorado not too long ago. Game wasn't really Sawyer Robertson's fault, but he played his heart out in that game and really showed. Was it him? Pretty sure it was him. But either one of the two, it was Colorado or Utah that I think he showed up. Regardless, you know what I'm trying to say here. But he does have a weapon in Josh Cameron. 44 catches, 643 yards, 9 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to play. I guess we'll wait and see. But they have been really good at running the football. Robertson, play action. They've been able to connect on a lot of things. When I look at Baylor, guys, they want to line up and run the football, right? Both of their running backs, the backup and Pendergrass has 100 attempts. And then they're really good running back, and Bryson Washington, who's a freshman, ran the ball 170 times for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. Dave is Dave Aranda. They want to run the football and play defense. It's who they are. And their quarterback is athletic enough and has been good enough this year in Sawyer Robertson to create on his own, to be able to push the ball down the field. And when he gets some pressure, he's athletic enough to run. They can present some problems for you. Now, do I think that they've lost to 4 teams that are lesser than you in the Big 12? Without a doubt. There have been moments they have not been good. Because it's like, how do I want to say this, of a team that maybe you played this year? I don't know if you faced really a team like that this year. Maybe Arkansas a little bit, but Taylor Green just being more athletic. They want to run the football. They're going to run the football ad nauseum. They want to play good defense. They want to control the line of scrimmage. They want to play keep away in time of possession. Sounds like the Arkansas game. Now, I think Arkansas is better than Baylor, but you get my gist here. You got a lot of things that you got to replace too. You got to think about that too. They present some interesting things for you. The thing about Baylor, though, is that they're not good at not allowing explosive plays. Dave Aranda special. And they've been scored on a lot. So, Aaron Anderson, you're running vert routes today. Xavier Thomas, you're running vert routes today. Good. Baylor's given up a lot of explosive plays and to a lot of teams that are not better than you, even at wide receiver. So, a lot of trips, 35 trips and only 12 touchdowns. 1 per game, man. They're only giving up 1 touchdown per game in the red zone. That's insanity. That's pure insanity. But they've been scored on by big plays. It's just who they are. Last but not least, how much do you want this game? Now, Braden Swinson came out today about saying that he is going to play in the bowl game, and I love that for him. Love that for him. Love it for guys like Savion Jones. Love it for, if Major Burns wants to play. If he does, he does. He doesn't, he doesn't. We'll see. We'll see some young freshmen and maybe Jordan Gilbert at safety. What do you got there? I don't know. But, man, I'm just excited to see what we have here. The thing about defense right now is simple for me, though. Maybe some guys that you see coming back, like what does Don McKinley do? How does Ashton Stamps look? Does Deshaun McBride get a start? How does he play? What do you do at star if Major Burns doesn't play? I don't know. What I do know is you're going to get a look at some of these guys, but a lot of these guys aren't going to be there either. And you finally get your look at what you do have. It's not going to be the same, though. Pyburn, Butler, Jakeem Jackson, Delane. I don't think you're done on defense. What does Sydir Mitchell give you? Right? Like, if Sydir Mitchell does come here, don't know if he is or if he isn't, but if Sydir Mitchell comes here, what does he give you? Guy that can play the nose, 6'6", 350. What can he do? But I think Bo Davis thinks he can play. Why would Bo Davis take him if he didn't think he could play? I don't think that would happen. So you start getting some pieces. It's just, man, there's so many things, though. So many things that you gotta find out about yourself. All right. Let's get to your questions. So thoughts, questions, concerns. You can fire in a super chat, and we'll answer those too. Those get top priority. H-Town Creole says BK needs to build a line for running a conventional offense running game featuring Caden Durham. Nuss is not an RPO offensive scheme quarterback. H-Town, we didn't run a lot of HPOs or RPOs. We didn't run a lot of RPOs. I think you got to give Garrett easy throws, and then he can make some of the big ones late. Rick Cloetti says, for bowl game, let her rip. Yeah, let her rip. Yeah, let her rip. Jerry Zimmerman says, I love Dave Aranda, but Nuss going to smoke him like a geeked blizzy. Okay. Jerry Zimmerman. A geeked blizzy. Okay. As long as it's a blizzy, not a glizzy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Gary Anderson says, after you feed them that meat and rice dishes, black pot or stove, they coming. Yeah. Well, I do hope so. Wilk says, I want to see BK put up 50. I don't know if we have the capacity to put up 50. I hope that we do. Penn Jones with a $5 super chat says, Blake, do you think that we go after the Bama running back that's in the portal? Are you talking about Justice Haynes? Here's what I think about running back at the current moment. We haven't spent a lot of time on it. If it is Justice Haynes, then no, I don't think you're going after him. Here's where I'm at the running back position. I have a massive fear right now that if you don't make a decision, and you're going to have to make a decision, the decision is, are you going to run back with Caleb Jackson? Pun intended. Are you going to run it back with Caleb Jackson? And if you do, okay, well, then we got it. It's a big risk. I mean, you're the one that didn't play him, not me. It's a big risk. Can he develop? Can he lose some weight? If that was the problem for him, let him lose some weight and see what he can do. Let him get back down to 215, 220. The thing with running back for me is that I don't know in the SEC on 3rd and 1 that you can run the – like who Guys, sometimes you need somebody that can run in between the tackles. And that it's just football, man. Caden Durham can do that for you. I love Caden Durham. I do. I love him to death. But there's a reason why you get multiple style of backs. I am of the opinion, and always have been and here's what's crazy. What's crazy is that Brian Kelly's always seemed to find good running backs. I mean, guys, he came in down here and got Logan Diggs, and Logan Diggs went off, and then you went and got him again. And I'll be real with you, Logan wasn't a bad running back. Sometimes you need a guy like Logan Diggs at 215, 220 pounds will put their head down and just bite down on their mouth guard. Be physical. Be very physical. Here's what people don't tell you and what they're not going to tell you. I don't care what anybody tells you. Logan Diggs might be an issue here and there in the locker room on some things that he does. It's true. But he helped out Jaden on them zone reads a lot too, because hey, man, if this guy gets ahead of steam, we're in trouble. You got to go in there and somebody up. You feel me? That's my opinion. I don't know what they're going to do, Penn. I really don't. They need to go get a running back, in my opinion. What happens with Trey Holly? Let me ask you this. I'm going to put it to y'all. Let's see if y'all agree with me. Are you comfortable right now, from what you've seen at running back, with Josh Williams leaving, that you can go and get a 3rd and 1 when you need it? Do you think that we need a running back? I love Harlan Berry, but Harlan Berry's 185 pounds. Maybe he gets to 195. Maybe. To 200. Maybe. That's a lot of weight to put on. I think you need to go get one. If Jackson stays, says Sip G, he will be the best back in the roster if they play him. So, Sip G, let me show you this. Your boy was watching some film the other day, and I just want to show you something. It's about Caleb Jackson. All right, let me zoom in here. I wish I could. This is when I wish I had a Mac that I could show you. So this is a play against South Carolina. Okay. This is a play against South Carolina. 28 Caleb Jackson is supposed to run right behind Will Campbell. He's blocked by the camera. So Will Campbell is right there. Okay. The play design is for Caleb Jackson to run right behind Will Campbell's ass cheek. So you see that CJ Daniels has blocked the safety. Miles Frazier, 70, the last he pulled on this play, that is push. You went in the wrong direction. Oh, man, I hate when my camera does this. There we go. So that's a miss. That happened a lot, where he kept hitting the wrong hole. So when you can't run the football, people blame the offensive line, right? Oh, it's the O-line's fault. This, that, and the third. Everything, it was their fault. No. It was not their fault. The running back literally went in the wrong hole. He ran the wrong play. And in his defense, he was lined up on the wrong side. I don't like it at all. I could show you another one too. The same scenario here happened where Josh Williams against UCLA, you can't really see it. Josh Williams hit the right hole and it went for 20. You had a lot of offensive line production this year that you didn't, that the side view doesn't show you. You're missing a lot. Caleb's got to get better vision. I have no idea how he gets better vision. Zero clue. I'm not a running backs coach. Never have been. But vision was very bad for him. He has the ability, but man, when he misses, boy, oh boy. Cody McGee with a $5 super chat says, thoughts on Ricky Collins. So he sent this to Rufino and Joe Show too. Thank you, Cody. Thoughts on Ricky Collins to Syracuse. Thoughts on TJ Finley to Tulane. I don't know. TJ's interesting to me. Tulane really got hit at quarterback. TJ comes home. What can he do? We'll see. Good for them, but Tulane's getting absolutely abused in the portal. It's kind of, in a way, a shame what happens to Tulane. Even though they trolled LSU, it's kind of a shame. Guys, they're getting killed in the portal. Mensa, their quarterback, here's what I heard. I heard Mensa, the quarterback, got a massive payday from Duke. Yes, you heard me right, Duke. Massive payday. So I know it's Duke, but it's what I hear. I have no way of justifying that, and if somebody from Duke that covers the team tells me that that's not true, then that's the rumor, though, that the dude got paid. Okay, sounds good for him. Good for him, man. Absolutely 100% good for him. But TJ's not him, man. You know, they're getting rated. So I hate that for him. In reference to Ricky Collins committing to Syracuse, the first thing that I went to go look, because when he committed, immediately after that post came, there were people around LSU that said that they don't think that he had committed. So after that, I had just said that he probably needs to go out there and say that he hadn't committed. But then he quote tweeted and said something like, let's get to work or something, but then deleted it and says, he just tweeted this 20 minutes ago. I have not officially committed anywhere. My recruitment's still open. I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with Ricky. We're going to find out, though. All right, we'll see y'all soon, man. Y'all have a good night. Peace.